Hello, my quad bros and sisters. Welcome back to the channel, guys. We've got a very long dev blog for you today. The preparation for the Scorching Rays update, which is a weird way to say that, hey, there's a big update coming and here's what's going to be in it. So let's jump into it, guys. This is going to be basically going over everything that's going to be in the next major update for Enlisted. Typically, when these start going out, it's about a week or two later that the update comes out. I would guess by the amount of stuff in this, it's probably going to be 2, maybe even 3 weeks, though we'll see what happens. So first off, of course, the weapons and the vehicles. We'll have probably an entirely separate dev blog going over this in more detail. But they said that they are focusing on the confrontation between the USA and Japan. So Japan is going to be getting this lovely double-barreled shotgun with a bayonet, which is genuinely hysterical to add to the game, because that's just like you've got a double-barreled shotgun. Like, what, you need more close-range firepower or fighting ability, right? You need more. I find that to be hilarious. So of course we're gonna be using that a ton. And the Americans are finally getting the Chicago typewriter, the 50-round M1921 Thompson. Now, this is already in the game. I believe the paratrooper squad has effectively what this is, although they have the 100-round variant. And I think a different squad has the 50-round variant. I don't really exactly remember, but it is still a very, very good gun. Incredibly good gun. So it's nice to see this added. I'm not sure, people are probably still going to use the hide, at least if you're really trying to min-max, but this is still a very good gun, especially with that 50-round magazine. So I'm excited to see that added to the game, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be hyped to see that because it is such an iconic weapon, right? Of course, the both sides are going to be getting new vehicles. So the Churchill 7, I think it was, right? Churchill 7. Yeah, Churchill 7. So this is the main Churchill that was used during World War II. The most mass-produced one, at least as far as I am aware. Maybe it was the 5 was more produced, but regardless, it's very armored and it's got a 75mm cannon on it. So it is very, very effective. I'm assuming it's probably going to be BR4, because I think in BR5 it would probably get eaten alive, and in BR4 it can probably go toe-to-toe with a lot of stuff. So we'll see where it lands. I'm really curious about it, and it's going to be a fun tank to have. I've really wanted more British tanks in the game, and so I'm glad that they're finally adding that. The Japanese are finally getting the Chi-Nu, which is fantastic. I know that a lot of people have been asking for Chi-Nu for a long time, so the Chi-Nu 2, which has a good gun on it as well, is finding its way into the game. And then the Japanese are also getting the Key 83 Interceptor, which is, I think it has some, it looks like bombs on it, but more importantly, it's going to be good for high-tier Japan, because it should help Japanese players take down a lot of the more powerful allied planes, because it is an interceptor. So hopefully it'll be able to do its job taking out like P-47s and things like that. We'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting. They said new weapons and vehicles will await you in the update and our traditional dev blog dedicated to them, which will be published soon and will help you decide what to unlock first. So the thing that I'm curious about is, does this mean we're going to be getting even more weapons and vehicles, or is this it? And they're kind of teasing stuff here, right? Like, are they saying we're focusing on these for this blog, or are they saying, you know, that this is it and then we'll talk more about these ones in the future? I don't know. I hope there's more. I'd like to see the Soviets and the Germans get something, obviously, right? Even if it's just like a gun or something. I know German and Soviet players would agree with me on that, so we'll see. There's more stuff coming though, so even if you don't, German players, Soviet players, there's some more stuff. They're doing some buffs to some low BR tanks. So the machine gunner, the whole machine gunner on these tanks is being added to the game. The BA-11, the Panzer III, and all the Panzer III variants, Panzer 38T, the M3 Stuart and Stuart variants, as well as the Italian M14 and M13. So nice little addition there. I think it's especially nice for stuff like the M5A1 that has like a ton of machine guns, but just having 2 machine guns is a really, really good addition to a vehicle, and it really lets you do some serious damage. So that is nice to see, and is going to make these vehicles that much better at low BR. So that's cool. And they said that they'll do this for other tanks as well. I'm assuming they'll kind of climb the BR rankings and do that. Some bug fixes you guys can read about here. I won't go too deep into those. Kahif Cave Village is also seeing a rework. Kahif Cave Village is probably, in my opinion, the worst map in Enlisted. And so they are changing the map. They said that they've made the tunnels a lot better. They said it's easier to navigate the tunnels, and new landmarks will make it more memorable, and new cover will provide more opportunities. So that is good. We'll see how that goes. I am really excited for this. I think Kahif Cave Village could be a really, really interesting map. It just needs more opportunities to flank and get into the objectives that are down below, as opposed to how it is now, where it's a lot of choke points that just end up getting filled with barbed wire, sandbags, or explosion spam, or just like machine gunners watching over. It just ends up not being a too fun experience. So we'll see how this goes. And they said that they'll show how it's being changed in a separate dev blog in the future. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting. We've also had some other maps that are being changed. So later, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm American. Don't judge me, guys. Bainhof. This is in the train, right? If I'm not mistaken, this is the train station mission in Berlin for the Soviets and the Germans. There was a spawn point that they have fixed that was has been broken for, I think, years at this point. Very long time. As well as some, navigation of AI, some maps and stuff that they won't get stuck on as much. Streets of Stalingrad, they'll get better, more natural, more predictable, and will hopefully make battles a lot better. Hermann Goring Strasse is also getting a balance pass. It's some of the boundaries of the battle area being adjusted, which is good. And then vehicle spawns are also being improved. I actually put on this map pretty recently, and I really enjoy this. I think the map is, it's a solid map, but a lot of the times tanks kind of spawn just staring at each other because it is just down that long street. So hopefully they are making that a little bit better. And making it a little bit easier to get into the fight without just getting nuked. So that'll be good. Lebray's getting a little bit of some changes. D-Day changes are getting a little bit better. Oasis, Visikovo. You guys can read through this. I don't think it's necessarily to go through each one individually because there's a lot of little minor changes here. But overall, I think it's good that they're doing these small little map passes and changing some of the stuff on these maps. I don't know if they necessarily need to do this whole like dev blog style thing for this. Like, I think just doing a traditional patch notes of just like, hey, we changed this. Hey, we changed this. Hey, we changed this, right? Like one on one. That might be a little bit better, but regardless, it's a good practice to at least talk about it. So I'm happy with that. That's not too much of a complaint there. They also said that vegetation has been reworked. Bushes will no longer block shells and bullets. And the canopy of trees and bushes will have greater impact on the AI soldier's vision. That's good. That's nice to see. I don't really feel like I have a lot of problems with this most of the time. I think there are some bushes that I've noticed will definitely block like heat rounds, which kind of makes sense based on how heat rounds work, but not entirely. So it is nice to see that. There have been definitely some times where I've killed myself with like an M9 bazooka because I fired it from a bush and it just like explodes on the bush and kills me. So that's frustrating, but regardless. Now, Desertion is getting some changes as well. So previously they added this Desertion where if you leave a game, you get a minus 20% experience penalty. What they've added is this thing called a right to make a mistake, which is really funny name for this thing. Very dark flow name. But they added it to where known bugs that prevent reconnecting to battles have been fixed. But they've also added this thing where once per day, you can leave a game and not get the penalty. So that's nice. And if you play 4 battles, then it will reset it as well as the once per day. So I like that. I know a lot of people have complained about this. And personally speaking, I don't have a lot of problem with just giving the desertion to people who disconnect. Because at the end of the day, it's like, that's how every other game does it. And I think it's hard to do a system where you are like, I don't know, where you're able to make it to where it's fair for people who disconnect. Because sometimes you do disconnect. Not everyone has stable internet. Sometimes that happens. Hell, I've disconnected before from games just because my internet cut out or something like that. But sometimes you just got to take those on the chin and just move on with your life. 20% isn't really that much. But it's nice to see that they're listening to players and they've come up with a solution that I think is pretty elegant. And I'm curious to see how this will play out, if it will substantially affect like desertions one way or the other. So I don't know. I think this is, for what it's worth, a very elegant solution that I think is a midpoint between you know, punishing deserters and also having some level of like, you know, understanding for when people disconnect. So I like this change a lot. It's not really that important overall, but it's a very well designed change, I suppose is the best way to put it. They are also adding matchmaking changes. This was a past dev blog that they went over. So groups are going to be queuing against groups more often. So if you like to queue with a duo, understand that you might be running into other duos, trios, and quads more often. And if you're a solo player, you will be running into them less often. So that's nice. Then they're adding ray tracing. So I don't know. I shouldn't have to really explain ray tracing, I think, in this day and age, but Enlisted's adding ray tracing, and ray tracing will probably make the game look really good, and hopefully it will also help make the game look a lot prettier, especially in the interior of buildings and things like that. So they've also added updated hit marks, which is cool. Each hit will leave a distinctive mark, allowing players not only to enjoy the effect of explosions, but also follow the course of battle. So that's cool. Some various vegetation has been reworked. Most of this is pretty straightforward. Japanese soldiers will no longer be bald. Thank God. Thank God. Our Japanese boys out there will no longer be bald. There's a bug that made them bald. So now they won't be bald. That's good. And then finally, guys, the last change, the silver chest is coming along with rewards from past battle passes. So you're able to get some cool stuff there. And they've also added an alternative for those who love to assemble the most effective army. So very, very cool. And that will be that'll be good. I don't know. That'll be good. It's a silver chest. Everyone loves gambling. Everyone loves blowing all of their hard-earned silver at the casino of Enlisted. So that will be good to see. Again, this update I expect to come out in just a few short weeks. So make sure to be ready for that, guys. Get your silver grinded so you can gamble it all away like you're going to the races. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. This was a long dev blog. I won't keep ranting about it. Leave a comment down below. While you're there, like and subscribe. We'll have some more videos out for you guys tomorrow, so make sure you have notifications turned on for when those hit your YouTube feeds. Without anything else, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.